October 8, 2025. The air in Los Angeles was thick with anticipation, the city buzzing for another night of playoff baseball. The Philadelphia Phillies entered Dodger Stadium, their season hanging by a thread, every step heavy with the weight of expectation. Down 2-0 in the NLDS, one more loss would end their year and send them home empty-handed. The pressure was suffocating, their explosive offense, so reliable all season, had vanished at the worst possible time. 93 regular season wins and a first-round bye meant nothing now. The slate was wiped clean, and the only thing that mattered was survival. The Dodgers' pitching had silenced them, and the Phillies looked lost, searching for answers that never seemed to come. The crowd was deafening, sensing a sweep. Every out was met with thunderous applause, every Phillies mistake magnified by the roar. Every pitch felt like the season's last, the tension mounting with each swing and miss. Manager Rob Thompson believed in his team's talent, but momentum was against them, and belief alone couldn't change the scoreboard. The Phillies needed a hero, someone to spark a comeback, to remind them of the team they'd been all year. Across the country, fans watched with bated breath, hoping for a miracle, unwilling to let go of the dream. The first 3 innings were a repeat of their struggles. No runs, no energy, just mounting frustration. The dugout was tense, hope fading with every out, the silence between teammates growing heavier. The Dodgers dominated, and the Phillies' bats stayed quiet, unable to break through the wall of blue. It felt like the end was near. The energy in the Phillies section was somber, the hope that had carried them all season slipping away. But baseball is a game of moments, and the Phillies were desperate for one, a single spark to ignite a rally, to turn the tide. As the 4th inning began, they searched for a sign of life, hoping it wasn't too late to change their fate and keep their season alive. At the heart of the Phillies' struggles was Kyle Schwarber, their leadoff slugger. He was the player the team and the city looked to for a spark, the one who could change the game with a single swing. But lately, that magic had vanished. Known for jaw-dropping home runs and electrifying moments, Schwarber was mired in a brutal slump, hitless in the series, 0 for 8, with 5 strikeouts. Each at-bat seemed to pile on more frustration, both for him and for the fans watching anxiously. His struggles stretched back into the regular season, 0 for 22. The numbers told a harsh story, but the weight of those outs was even heavier. Every trip to the plate felt like a test he couldn't pass. Every at-bat brought hope, then disappointment. The crowd would rise with anticipation, only to slump back in their seats as another opportunity slipped away. Schwarber was pressing, swinging for the fences, but nothing worked. The harder he tried, the more elusive that breakthrough hit became. It was as if the baseball gods were testing his resolve. The offense stalled, the pressure mounting on everyone else. Teammates looked on, hoping for a spark, but the dugout grew quieter with each missed chance. As he stepped in for the 4th inning, the Phillies trailed 1-0, still hitless. The tension in the stadium was palpable, every eye fixed on Schwarber as he dug in. Announcers questioned his confidence. Fans held their breath. The sense of urgency was everywhere, from the broadcast booth to the last row of the upper deck. Schwarber's slump was a glaring problem at the worst possible time. The numbers flashed on the scoreboard, a constant reminder of the challenge he faced. The team needed him to break through. Right now, every player, every coach, knew how much was riding on his next swing. Philadelphia fans remembered his power, the towering home runs that had once electrified the ballpark. But lately, he'd come up empty, and the city's faith was being tested. The Dodgers pitcher eyed him, sensing weakness. It was a battle of wills, and the pitcher wasn't about to give in easily. The moment felt heavy, the season on the line. Every pitch, every swing, carried the weight of months of hard work and hope. Could Schwarber deliver, or would the slump continue? The question hung in the air, unanswered, as the crowd waited in suspense. The Phillies' hopes rested on his shoulders as the pitch came in. In that instant, the entire season seemed to balance on the outcome of one swing. Then, in a single instant, everything changed. The tension that had been building all night reached a breaking point, and the entire stadium seemed to hold its breath, waiting for something, anything, to happen. On a 1-1 count, with the pressure mounting and the Phillies desperate for a spark, Schwarber dug in. He got a fastball, and with a powerful, confident motion, unleashed his signature swing, one that fans had come to recognize as a symbol of hope in the postseason. The crack of the bat echoed through the cool night air, a sound that every baseball fan knows means something big is about to happen. The ball soared, a towering shot rocketing into the night sky, drawing every eye in the stadium upward. But this wasn't just a home run, it was a statement. It was a message to the Dodgers, to the fans, and to the Phillies themselves. The fight was far from over, and the Phillies were very much alive. The ball traveled an astonishing 455 feet, disappearing beyond the outfield wall and into the night. With that swing, Schwarber snapped his frustrating 0-for-22 postseason drought, finally breaking through when his team needed him most. It was the Phillies' first hit of the game, and it couldn't have come at a more crucial moment. The home run tied the score at 1-1, instantly shifting the momentum and breathing new life into the dugout. The dugout erupted, players leaping to their feet, shouting and hugging. The energy that had been missing suddenly flooded back into the team, as if Schwarber's swing had flipped a switch. Schwarber didn't pause to admire his work. Instead, as he rounded the bases, he locked eyes with his teammates, pointing and urging them on, reminding them that the game, and the series, was still theirs for the taking. The Dodgers crowd, so loud just moments before, fell into a stunned silence. In contrast, Phillies fans erupted in celebration, their belief in a comeback suddenly reborn. One swing had shattered the tension that gripped the stadium and changed the entire series. The pressure that had weighed on the Phillies was gone, replaced by a sense of destiny. Teammates stared in disbelief, their faces a mix of shock and awe. Even Trea Turner, no stranger to big moments, shook his head, amazed by the sheer power of Schwarber's blast. This home run was more than just a run on the scoreboard. It was a wake-up call, a jolt of adrenaline that reminded everyone what October baseball is all about. The Phillies remembered who they were, a team built on power, resilience, and the ability to rise when the odds are stacked against them. They gathered, high-fiving and huddling, their confidence restored. Schwarber's swing didn't just break his own slump, it broke the spell that had been cast over the Phillies' offense. The monster was awake, and the game had turned. Suddenly, the Phillies looked like a different team, hungry, aggressive, and ready to seize the moment. The Dodgers pitcher looked rattled, his confidence shaken by the sudden turn of events. Meanwhile, the Phillies' dugout was electric, buzzing with renewed hope and determination. Schwarber's leadership was on full display, his energy contagious as he rallied his teammates and set the tone for the rest of the game. The Phillies were no longer playing not to lose, they were playing to win. Every player seemed sharper, more focused, and ready to make a difference. The momentum had shifted in a heartbeat, and now the series was suddenly wide open. Anything felt possible. The legend of Schwarber in October had a new, unforgettable chapter, and for the Phillies, hope was alive once more. Schwarber's home run jolted the Phillies' dugout to life. Manager Rob Thompson said it woke everybody up. The tension vanished, replaced by cheers and high fives. Players were suddenly animated, their confidence restored. Schwarber's goal was simple: get the team going, and he did. Confidence spread like wildfire, hitters stepped up with new swagger. The Dodgers pitcher, once dominant, now looked vulnerable. Schwarber's message was clear. The fight was on. The emotional boost was immediate and contagious. The Phillies lineup fed off the energy, ready to attack. That one swing changed everything in the dugout. The Phillies were back, and the Dodgers could feel it. Schwarber's blast was just the beginning. Bryce Harper followed with a single, then Alec Boehm did the same. Suddenly, the Phillies had back-to-back hits after being hitless all game. The dugout buzzed, the Dodgers pitcher unraveled. The Phillies scored 2 more runs in the fourth, flipping a 1-0 deficit into a 3-1 lead. The team that looked lost minutes earlier was now in control. Their aggressive, relentless style returned. In the first 2 games, they'd managed just 6 runs. Tonight, they were just getting started. The Phillies finished with 8 runs and 12 hits, a total offensive awakening. Every player fed off Schwarber's energy. The Dodgers crowd grew quiet, stunned by the turnaround. The Phillies were on the attack, not backing down. The series narrative had flipped in 1 inning. The Phillies' identity, power and resilience, was back. They weren't going down without a fight. Schwarber wasn't done. In the 8th, with the Phillies clinging to a 3-2 lead, he faced Clayton Kershaw. Once again, Schwarber delivered, another home run, his second of the night. This shot wasn't as long, but it was just as crushing. The Phillies exploded for 5 runs in the inning, turning a close game into a rout. Schwarber's second homer was the dagger, demoralizing the Dodgers. The dugout erupted, celebrating their hero. Schwarber had put the team on his back. When the pressure was highest, he delivered, again. The Phillies' season was alive, thanks to his heroics. Schwarber's Game 3 wasn't just clutch, it was historic. His 455-foot blast was his fifth postseason homer of at least 450 feet, more than anyone since StatCast began. With his second homer, he reached 23 career postseason home runs, passing Bernie Williams for third all-time. Only Manny Ramirez and Jose Altuve have more. Schwarber's power in October is legendary. He's a threat to change any game with one swing. Phillies fans know they're witnessing history. Schwarber's legacy as a postseason giant grew even larger. This night was about more than stats. It was about a player rising to the moment. It was a performance baseball fans will never forget. Schwarber's greatness goes beyond numbers. It's about mindset. After the game, he focused on the team, not his slump or records. "Did you win the game? That's all that matters," he said. His team-first attitude keeps him steady, even in tough times. He leads by example, inspiring teammates to stay positive and focused. When he homered, his first instinct was to fire up the dugout. Schwarber's selfless approach makes him a beloved leader. He thrives under pressure, embracing big moments. For him, it's about winning, not personal accolades. That mentality is why he breaks slumps and delivers when it counts. It's what makes him a true October star. The Phillies' 8-2 win was more than a victory, it was a lifeline. It changed the series' narrative, restoring hope and belief. The team's identity, power, resilience, swagger, returned. Schwarber's heroics reminded everyone what the Phillies are capable of. The win was a psychological turning point, proving they could overcome adversity. For fans, it reignited dreams of a deep playoff run. The city buzzed with excitement, rallying behind their team. Schwarber's performance energized Philadelphia. This win saved the season and put the league on notice. The journey isn't over, but the Phillies have a fighting chance. A slumping player and a struggling team rose to the occasion. It was a legendary night in Phillies history.